of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Just take one moment, please keep standing. We had a crossing guard, if you don't have a kid here, you may not know, that passed away. Larry Grohl, he was here, I believe it was 10 years of service as a crossing guard up here. Let's take a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Carter?
Here.
Mr. Redmond?
Here.
Ms. Ryan? Here. Mrs. Wells? Here. Mayor Long?
Here.
First item is the consent agenda.
Anybody have anything you want to take off and talk separately?
Yeah, R 15-212 and R 15-215.
Okay, let's do 212 first.
215.
And
Correct. And the bills is number 10, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 10.
Let's do number 1, which is 212 first.
I need some help understanding why we're transferring funds.
Okay, Pat, you want to answer that?
To the best that I can here, after reviewing the budget, that we have a couple of minor transfers into sanitation, which is my understanding that there may be some tipping in there. A little bit building and grounds salary, it's just how we allocate salaries to the building and grounds line item, and also the utility water line item. So it's a very small transfer, kind of recommending that it gets done. So we can finish paying some of the more current water bills or anything else that may be coming up. It's not any over expenditures or anything like that. It's just projecting to the end of the year that we may need some extra funds here.
My question, and thank you, Pat, but my question is why didn't we budget $9,000 for beach maintenance and cleanup, or for whatever reasons?
Sure.
And then by year 2015, we had a $38,000 budget, and then 2014, we had a $50,000.
Okay, you're talking about what
The sanitation and other expenses.
Yeah.
And then beach maintenance, we had 29, and we went to 13. In 2014, we went to 13. 2015, we went to 29, or 20, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So there's disparity here in our budgeting. I'm just a little confused that we're saying one thing and then moving money and spending it somewhere else. Lack of words, discretionary spending, or free spending.
I can comment on the beach budget. It was at the recommendation of the governing body that we attempt to pay a higher salary and expand the season. So that number, if it's in the salary, I don't have it in front of me, but if it was specifically in a salary item of the beach budget, that would have been the reason for the increase. And that was probably about a 33% increase or more.
Higher salary for the lifeguards?
Higher salary for lifeguards, and an expanded season was talked about when those numbers were put together a year and a half ago. So that's where that number would have.
The increase to 20. No, I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that explanation. But yeah, then your sanitation, you're sitting at 38 in 2015, and then in 2014 you had 50. I mean, that's...
Well, what we tried to do there, Councilman, is we tried to cut the budget really as much as we can based upon what we saw spent in the prior year. So what we did is we made it a little bit too tight this year, and this would kind of like cure those ills. So, a budget it's really a projection. It's a spending plan, and it's not an exact science. So, I mean, there are some pluses and minuses. The good thing is out of our budget, boy, this is only such a tiny transfer. Okay?
Well, all right. I appreciate that.
You good with that then?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you.
215?
Did you want to vote on that?
Yeah.
I'll offer.
Offered by Mr. Carter.
I'll second.
Second by Ms.
And we're
Wells.
voting on R15 212 by itself, or
Correct.
besides?
Correct.
That's up, okay. Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
Yes.
Mayor Long?
Yes.
All right, that brings us to 215.
Yes, I'm bringing this to the attention. When I first got elected, unfortunately, there was a situation with an accident with the fire department. Post-investigation, everything, we were in executive session, we agreed to certain terms and obligations that the fire department would take sensitivity training. That happened in 2014. Here I want to approve the LoSAP. I think it's a great program. I think it's a commitment for the fire department and its members. It's a simple award, but they have an obligation to do the training that the reports recommended this governing body requested them to do. All I'm asking is that we hold off the vote until the members complete the course, and then we give it to them at that time. Rewarding before they complete the courses is not an acceptable ground, especially with the amount of citizens that complain about the event. So I believe we should table it and reward it and hold it for them when they complete the course.
Does anybody want to speak to that, about the recommendation?
Well, I'll let Bruce speak to it, because I know I'm abstaining, but I also know that one has nothing to do with the other, and we actually have the closed-out chairman here to speak, because you're actually holding back something which is a year's worth of service over one thing that hasn't been fulfilled, because we're still waiting for the borough to set it up.
What was discussed was not the borough's responsibility to set up the sensitivity training. We could assist in it, we should have, and I believe we attempted to do that. There's some schedule problems, but it was also the obligation of the fire department, who does a lot of training. They've had many training seminars down there and training exercises. They should have taken an obligation. They realized a mistake was made. They should have scheduled that training and gotten it done. LoSAP, that's training. Language Service Awards program is a great program, but they should be held accountable to making sure they're trained properly. And this governing body has an obligation to make sure that our citizens are not going to run into a situation that causes an investigation in the uproar by the public. So, and it's nobody's getting penalized here. All we're asking is to do the training, and we'll give it to you. I don't think it's a problem. It's not something too difficult to ask.
I mean, that's up to the governing body. For whatever reason, it wasn't done, it should have been done. It is not related to the LoSAP. The LoSAP, they do not get credits for the LoSAP.
I understand
So,
that.
it's up to you guys anyway.
But what's their incentive to do the training if you don't hold them to something or require them to do something? There's no incentive for them to do the training now. Because if there was, they would have gotten it done, I'm sure.
So the question is, what's the incentive going forward?
As soon as they-
But what's the incentive going forward if approved tonight? Or what's the benchmark? Is there any, were we handling this as a borough, or were we handling this with the fire
We
department?
were working with the fire department initially and trying to set up
scheduling for the
the training. The trainer that was going to be assigned, she had to get state clearance. It was I know it was about 3 months earlier in the year that we were dealing with that. We've since then contacted the Monmouth JIF, and they have a program. It's more than diversity training. It's basically workplace environment, and it's a program they do for employees, but they can cater it towards the fire department. They are going to get back to me with dates that are available, and the Monmouth JIF will provide that program to us.
Are we paying for that program?
There may be a cost. I don't know what it is at this point. There may be a cost for the trainer.
And I believe in the conversations we had, the cost would be incurred by the fire department. I don't think this is a cost that we should be to the public.
I think I recall that also, though,
I think
that
that's
that
right.
it would go to the fire department. I think that would be right. But I don't see one stopping the other, since we know that this is going to happen. And many times things happen with classes and training, and people don't do it within a timely fashion, and they're not penalized. I don't see penalizing the fire department for anything. Well,
I understand what I appreciate what you're saying. I
in my
appreciate that.
opinion, it is, and I think we should go ahead and award the LoSAP, knowing that this is going to be set up by the end of the year.
Is that a motion?
Yes, it's a motion.
Offered by Mrs.
Can I
Ryan.
ask a question? Without, I don't want to go into names and rehash everything, how many of the people that are on the fire department were involved in the incident? That reflection.
I believe there's one. I could be wrong, but my recollection, this was over a year ago, my recollection is that was
Maybe
primarily two.
How many?
At most, two.
If it was, let's say it's 5 parking, like how many folks were we talking about tonight voting for? Or 34. Okay, I don't want to penalize 34 for 1, 5, or 6, so I'm going to go with it, so I'll second it.
Second by Mayor Nolan. Mr. Carter.
No.
Mr. Redmond.
Yes.
Ms. Ryan.
Yes.
Mrs. Wells.
I abstain.
Mayor Nolan.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I'm gonna take you guys at your word, and I know it's not.
This
will
is the
be
first
set
I
up,
ever heard of it.
and I don't doubt that either, and that's another
You
part.
weren't the chief at the time.
It doesn't matter, it's the first it wasn't brought up at any of our meetings, I haven't heard anything
Well,
about this.
that speaks to the matter why it wasn't taken care of.
Can we make sure it's set up by the end of the year?
It was never discussed.
I'm sorry?
Can we set this up by the end of the year with Tim?
Nothing to do with me.
Wait, he's the LoSAP chair.
I will work
Sorry,
with
yeah,
the chief.
sorry.
Kevin, you
I
were such
apologize.
a long thing, so if you had any LoSAP questions, you know,
No, we still gotta do the payment of bills. The payment of bills is another question,
Okay.
because it wasn't done correctly. Lauren,
Okay.
Carolyn, what part of number 10 I guess we're talking about?
You're
Payment bills?
removing, yeah, you're removing POs 15-1224 through 1228
Okay.
because there is no resolution approving that, so that's expenses for the convention. So you'll just have to bring receipts back and get paid, reimbursed.
Who's ever going, you gotta bring receipts back.
I have a question, Carolyn, do we need now to, pay for the rooms beforehand? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'll offer that as is then, without that being.
No, I have a question.
Sorry.
Mary, you stated the community event that took this weekend was being paid for by, I see bills on.
Yeah, we gave them POs, we got checks in, so we got checks in here, and they're gonna pay them.
Okay.
So Carolyn, you can give anybody copies of checks.
Oh, great.
Okay.
All right.
There's probably gonna be a couple more next time, usually we'll give us some many bills so far.
Yep.
But I still believe we're about 500 up on what we took in as close to what we're paying.
Okay, so you got first. Okay, great.
Yeah, so we did POs, we could track.
That's typical practice when someone just offers to do a program and pay for it. We pay for it first and then we reimburse.
I think the PO committed to them that we're gonna do it, and we knew we were getting money in, it was just a matter of, we only knew a week ahead of time that we could do it, because we knew the building would be ready.
Okay.
So,
Cool, thank you.
you got it. Any other questions on it? Anything else on this? I guess we can do the rest, right?
Well, the bill list is that removed, so you need to vote on that first, and then the rest.
Okay.
Okay, I'll offer that, as we said, with the
Wait, say
removal.
that again?
The bill list was removed, so you have to vote on the bill list now, and then vote on the rest of the consent agenda.
But this is with the removal of those expenses.
This is the bill list with the removal of those.
So,
On both items?
Offered by,
I offer.
offered by Mayor Mellon,
I'll second that.
second by Ms. Ryan. Mr. Carr,
yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes.
Ms. Ryan,
Yes.
Mrs. Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Mellon.
Yes, please.
Now we're back to the consent agenda.
Is anything on there anybody else would like to talk about separately? Was everybody here that can vote on the minutes, Carolyn?
October 7th.
Seven.
I believe so, yes.
You were not here?
Sure.
Okay, Mr. Redmond was not here on the seventh.
So you'll abstain on the minutes?
Oh, wait a minute.
Myself and Mr. Redmond were not here,
Stop it.
Yes, yeah.
so that's up to you three guys.
Alrighty.
Does anybody want to offer?
Offer them.
Are we doing the agenda?
Well, you gotta make that caveat, with the agenda with the minutes. I'm not
You
gonna vote on
could do all of them,
And then
and you
abstain.
guys can abstain on the minutes only.
it. You guys got it. I don't want to.
I'll offer.
Offered by Mr.
I'll
Carr,
second it.
second by Mrs. Wells. Mr. Carr,
Yes.
Mr. Redmond,
Yes, everything.
Except
so what you abstained towards the minutes.
So I said I'm abstaining.
Ms. Ryan,
Yes.
Mrs. Wells,
Yes.
Mayor Mellon.
Abstain.
You? That brings us to other resolutions. We have resolution R 15-221, resolution authorizing wire transfers.
Who's speaking to that?
I can speak on that, Mr.
Please,
Mayor.
sir.
Yeah, whenever we do wire transfers, the bank changed some of their policies. So when we do a wire now, I have to run to the bank, sign documents, so does the administrator, so does the clerk. This kind of perfects that, the authorization process, where we don't need to keep on dropping everything that we're doing and running up to the bank. So this is really just a formality, enabling us to do transfers as needed.
Okay.
We can also do it electronically. There are times the way that the bank had it set up that when the wire was authorized for payment of a bond or something had to be due, Carolyn and I would eventually have to get up there to sign a form in the bank, which almost sounds ludicrous, but sometimes Carolyn might be out in freehold and I might be tied up somewhere, but they still require two of our signatures, so
Okay.
it's definitely going to help conducting business.
Anybody have any questions on 15221? Okay,
I'm fine with it.
I'm good.
anybody want to offer?
I'll offer it.
Offered by Ms. Ryan,
I'll second it.
second by Mr. Carter. Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
Yes.
Mayor Nolan?
Yes.
That brings us to resolution R-15-222, resolution changing the location of the council meetings for December to the Wilson Memorial Community.
And going forward, correct?
Yes, we'll set that up in January.
Okay, anybody have any questions at the table on that?
No, I think it's great.
I'll offer it.
Offered by Mayor Nolan,
I'll second that.
second by Mr. Ryan. Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
Yes.
Mayor Nolan?
Yes, please.
Okay,
Also,
there's,
Carol, just, can we, sorry, can we just send a thank you letter to the school, and specifically like name and janitors, for just right there?
Yeah.
sure.
Very late.
Mayor Nolan, we also have a supplemental bill list which was provided in the public packets and is available on the table. There are 8 additional items that I'm looking to get approval for payment. First one is the Highlands Elementary School for $255,277. Henry Hassel for their payment, 304,313. Russo and Baxter, 884.92. Registrars Association of New Jersey, M&S Waste Services for their October services, $34,216.11. Party Fair Community Day, $128.82. Go DJ Mobile, $500. Defino Contracting for the Bay Avenue Streetscape, $133,200.16.
Okay, anybody have any questions on that? Anybody want to offer it? I'll offer it.
Offered by Mr. Evans,
I'll second it.
second by Ms. Ryan. Mr. Carter?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan?
Yes.
Mrs. Wells?
Yes.
Mayor Nolan?
Yes.
That brings us to committee report. We'll start with finance.
Okay, for the finance, the tax, under taxes and tax liens, our tax sale date has been set, and the date is going to be December 9th. Anyone who's over a year old in taxes, anybody owed from 2014 and prior, the lien process will begin, and hopefully we'll collect all that money. We should generate about $200,000 doing the tax sale process. As far as the budget goes, we sent out department request letters for the 2016 municipal budgets. We're hoping to get them back, so we had a meeting also with the budget committee last Wednesday, and as these documents come back in, we'll present them and review it with the budget committee. The audit was delivered the other day, was in my mailbox, so that's just been released. We do have one audit comment, and I'll be addressing the next council meeting with the corrective action plan on that. It's a pretty minor comment. And then the next thing we have is we have 2 sets of notes that we're rolling over. One's our special emergency note. In 2014, that was $2.5 million, and now we're rolling it over for $875,000, so it's a good reduction there. And it's getting reduced because of the FEMA receipts we have, as well as any pay downs we made. And then the last piece there of the notes that we're rolling over is a bond anticipation note, and that's about $2.7 million. Again, this will be reported on next meeting once those rates come in, and the rates should be coming in tomorrow.
Okay. Any questions on finance? Okay. Public safety?
Public safety, I submitted my report. From here on in, my reports will be posted on the Highlands NJ website, on the police department portion of the site.
And when do you think they'll be on those, like Monday before the meeting?
Yeah, I will put them on before the meeting so people can go on reading, have any questions. They can.
And Mayor Nolan, just so you know, they are available tonight in the public packet and
That's
at the table.
Okay, thank you.
But going forward, we'll try to have them on by Monday of the meeting. Okay. And there's a subline here, fire department?
Yeah, fire
It's
department,
part of Timmy's report.
yeah, the fire department did provide me their information.
So this is admin and fire department in the same one, correct? You're gonna talk to both right now?
Sure. At the request of the governing body and the public too, we do have the administrator's report available, double-sided copy, except mine is the large print. So if anyone has any specific questions, they can certainly peruse that instead of reading line by line. One of the things I wanted to bring up though is with regards to first aid. If folks are aware of the first aid member that was involved in an incident out of town, they are having a fundraiser and they're asking for support for the family of Jacob Lane. So keep him in your thoughts as well. There was an incident that happened a lot of folks may be aware of. So the First Aid did want to, pass that along. They will be planning a fundraiser as well in the future.
And can I say that there's also something online?
Yeah, I think they started I
that.
think the First Aid was involved with that too, some type of funding online.
Jace.
So, like I said, the report, if anybody has any questions, they can certainly reach out to them.
Thank you.
Board of Ed?
Okay, last week was the workshop, the convention for the Board of Eds. And I went down on Wednesday where the Tri-District presented the report on planning for the future and how to come to consensus on various issues with stakeholders. And I don't know if any of you participated in the sessions in the beginning when the Board of Ed was looking for people to come and talk to them about what was going to happen. But they were very good. They were led by a woman who was very well trained to do this. So it took years, actually. They had started working on the Tri-District years ago when I was still on the Board of Ed, and they have succeeded. They now have the Tri-District, and there is a fundraising component where they raised $47,000 in 1 year. They are giving scholarships, but more important than that, there's consensus among the principals and the teachers and the kids, and it's really made a change. When I moved here more than 20 years ago, it was like the people from Atlantic Highlands wouldn't even talk to the kids from Highlands. It was terrible. And now it seems to have changed again. I mean, I know that things swing back and forth. So anyway, I'm going to publish the link when I get it to, if anyone wants to watch this. It's about an hour and a half, but it goes really quick. And all the people in it who are speaking, most of you, if anybody's involved in the school role, you know them. And the members of the Board of Ed. And I think it's a great lesson for all of us on how you can come to consensus after not being together for years and years. So I was really proud of them, and they had a huge audience, and it was very well received. Thank you.
Highlands Business Partnership, I know Carla, I can see her here tonight.
Her report's been submitted to the public in their packets and has been provided to the table.
I mean, it's relatively short, so.
Shared services?
Yeah, Mary, the only update I have at this time is the Borough of Atlantic Highlands will be submitting to us the new sewer operation shared service agreement. That's for the daily running of our sewer plant down at Shore Drive. Unfortunately, yesterday we did have an issue down there, but all was contained and all was good. But they did respond and they were able to take corrective actions on that. So that's, we'll have everything at the table for the 2nd of December.
Is there another meeting scheduled for the DPW discussions with their
Yeah,
board?
we had wanted to hear from them by the 30th.
Yeah, we still
I think we need to, because I think FEMA even wants to.
We discussed that with the
So we can't really-
conference call we had today that, in our opinion, locally, we need to look out for Highlands
Yeah,
first at
Of
this
course,
point.
but if you can make a deal, make a deal.
Yeah.
So we're going to be reaching out one more time, telling them this is where we need to move to. If they're interested in being a part of it, we'd be interested in hearing from them, but there's been very little communication.
Okay. Other business? I have something that says other business one, but nothing on this, anything else? Darrell Buckle.
Yes, I noticed that people left the top line for me, I thought that was interesting.
That should be every day, no?
Yeah, because they put their own name in the same way at the top line. But I didn't, so, I had a question on the low staff as usual. I was wondering, some of these people belong to both our fire department, I think, and Atlantic Highlands Fire Department. Do they get double the points? Do they get points from Atlantic Highlands and Highlands?
Which we said it's not.
It goes by the sponsoring agency. You're allowed to be a member in one sponsoring agency. If you're a member of Atlantic Highlands sponsors that member of Atlantic Highlands. If you're a member of Highlands, Borough of Highlands sponsors that person away. So it comes from two separate monies. It comes from Atlantic Highlands and Highlands. So people you're referring to are members of both Highlands and Atlantic. Portion of the station is awarded for both Highlands and Atlantic.
What I'm saying is when they present this list to Atlantic, are
We
those
don't.
names
No.
also, not your list, this is our list.
Right.
But are those names of those people that belong to the Atlantic Highlands Fire Department, are they listed also similarly on the Atlantic Highlands?
I don't know how Atlantic Highlands does their
Yeah, so that might be double dipping.
system. You're allowed to, the law lets you double dip because you're working for Atlantic Highlands is paying you for that. The guy who works for Highlands paying, it's two separate sponsoring agencies.
Yeah, but it should be two different courses, it shouldn't be the same, you shouldn't get the same credit. You know, for
You're
example,
not.
I believe the statute lets you do
Right,
that,
it does,
Carol.
yeah.
Chief Wells asked me to look into that several months ago, so I don't remember all the details, but I remember that it was counterintuitive to me too, that you get double the credit for appearing in
So
one accident. You
You
get
don't get double credit. If somebody does something, we have our own point system in Highlands, and we give guys from your own credit for what they do here. Atlantic Highlands has a separate point system. So if they make a fire in Highlands or make a training drill in Highlands, they don't get points in Atlantic Highlands for that. Atlantic Highlands has their own separate point system and how they award their members for points.
and that was my question. For example, if you had some activity going here, and you were gonna award points for that activity,
Right.
can they then in turn say to Atlantic Highlands, well, I did that training in
No.
Highland?
They would have to have separate entities.
I thought your question was more if Atlantic and Highlands both respond to the same scene. You can get credit for both
I
of
was
these.
talking more about the
Well,
training.
That's up to Atlantic Highlands and Highlands.
Okay.
Usually we have.
Different shared services.
Reporting to the scene is totally different, I think.
Okay.
Than training. I think training is more of an individual.
Control, it's training.
Training would be who are responsible for training.
Okay.
But in theory, if they meet criteria in both towns, they can get paid on both towns.
Yeah, if they have two separate.
As long as it's not separate,
As
exactly.
long as it's not the same.
You're not getting training once and getting credit for two towns.
Okay. I noticed that you abstained on the minutes because you weren't here. It was my understanding that if you have read the minutes, that you don't necessarily have to abstain. But
That's
you
not
can
my
still do
understanding,
that
so I
if you
just
want.
cautioned on the side of the meeting.
And now that we have it on video, we certainly could watch the meeting.
Not saying I didn't, I wasn't here, so I didn't do it. That's what I was told in the past. If you're not here, you can't vote.
I know, it's just a point I'm making. Now, you said the summer meeting's gonna be in the community center. We gonna have furniture, we're gonna have to stand around.
We had chairs there on Sunday, Harold.
You're gonna get a big reply though.
That's good, I need one. Okay, that's all I have, thank you.
Kim Skorka?
Pittsburgh 315 F Shore Drive. Earlier in the year, a resolution was passed authorizing the sale of borough vehicles that were no longer in use. Where do we stand with that?
We're in the process of liquidating.
Okay, and do you know when that might happen?
I don't have a target date right now.
Okay, is it up on the auction site?
Not for the two fire apparatus, no. The other ones we're just going to probably discard for junk value.
Okay,
The two pieces of fire apparatus I mentioned in the past, we felt it could get better play going out to the municipal bid type website.
okay. Is there anything holding up the process?
Now, we're just going to get to it amongst all the other things that we're doing.
Okay. Back to the fire department sensitivity training. I understand the discussion and the way the vote went, but I didn't hear any ramifications if they don't do the training. This incident happened a year ago. We asked the fire department to do something about it. We told them to go to sensitivity training, and it wasn't organized. Is this going to happen next year, where a year goes by? What's the ramifications if they don't take the sensitivity training by the end of this year?
Well, that was my whole point of just, hey, the sensitivity was do the training and you get your points.
The short answer is that, sorry, I don't want to cut you off there. The short answer is there is none. But what I said when I voted is the reason I'm not going to penalize 34 people, 33 people for one individual that had an incident.
Somebody needs to start holding these 1 to 5 people accountable. And
That doesn't mean penalizing the other 33 or 4.
we didn't say they weren't gonna get it. We just said they're not gonna get it tonight.
Well,
And I think next time something like this happens, you have to do something to light a fire under people's butts. Because obviously they're not gonna do it themselves. And I think I had one more question. On the payment of bills, I noticed the hotel reservations, and I was wondering if we're sending all 5 council members?
I'm not going,
Okay,
personally.
okay, so
That got pulled off too. because we didn't do the correct ordinance. I was wondering if the
No, the
reimbursement.
hotel was on
See,
there.
it's the first story I apologize, the reimbursement got there.
And because my question is, with all due respect to our fine council members, they're not going to, Tara and Kevin are not going to be here come January. Is it worth it for us to pay for them to go?
We always have in the past, doesn't make it right, but they have, because the term is still in play till the end of December.
We're saying we could always say that's the way it's always been done.
No, it's just like you said, that doesn't mean we gotta do it. I have it on in 2 years, I gotta do it.
It's just something to consider between now and the time of the conference.
It's something I would explore passing an ordinance in the future if an election cycle happens and candidates are
Voted out.
voted out, then no, they don't go.
Well, it's gonna happen every year, obviously.
Well,
Potentially.
but at the same time, it is saving lives. It's every penny counts to the bottom line. And if they go, that's their entitlement. But at the same time, if we pass an ordinance, it takes that option away.
Okay. I wouldn't have any problem in, going there.
Yeah, it's just.
I don't really go a lot because I got a business to do.
I mean, and it's all up to, if they're going down there to meet certain people and do certain things while they're still elected.
So I have a question that's
You know what I mean?
on the hotel reservations. There was one for $950, which is 5 rooms at $190. So if there's 5 council members and you're not going, was the office aware of that? Because it
I
was.
told them more than once and told them again tonight when I knew it was on here.
Okay.
Yeah.
It'll be adjusted.
I believe we had up until tomorrow, I think, to cancel without knowing.
I don't know the exact deal, but
Okay.
we handle that. That's not a big idea.
It was no secret, I've been telling them since October. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Thank you.
You got it. Barbara Iannucci?
Okay, Barbara Iannucci, 28 Shrewsbury. Just to finish up what Kim's saying, I did look on the League of Municipality site this afternoon because I knew the two, Carolyn and Claudette, were looking forward to going. And Carolyn paid on her own last year, so they learned a lot. But November 5th is the deadline for any cancellations with the reservations for the rooms. So if you keep it at 5 rooms, whether 3 or 5 show up, you pay every night.
I understand this is not our first time.
Okay.
I'm quite
I mean,
aware.
so like, why pay?
I've been doing it for years.
Okay. But I was also wondering, by going under the municipality, if the rooms are reserved, the two who are paying out of pocket, we get a break on the tax amenities that hotels charge. Is there any way to help somebody lower their out of pocket?
We have that in our budget.
No, they're paying direct, they're listed
Under that umbrella, we get a discount.
under the
basically.
municipality, they don't get the, and hotels do really hike it up.
In the hotel industry, all you have to do is ask for the lowest rate. The hotel has to tell you, and if there's an event, whether you're a part of that event or not, they have to give it to you.
Yeah, no, they're not
That's
asking
good,
you
my
to cover
hotel's
their expenses. Just if they could get a
Yeah.
discount by being attached, it would work.
I don't know.
Okay, just asking, just asking. And in regard to the transfer of bills, I know you said it's a small amount, $9,000 or whatever it was. Pat. But there were reserves, according to the 2015 budget that was on our town site, for those accounts or those line items. There were reserves carried over in 2014, and the budget kind of was comparable to what it was the year before.
Yeah.
So I don't know why we're putting additional funds or transferring funds to line items that we knew had reserves from the year before, unless you want to maintain the reserve status quo, I don't know.
Those funds would be needed to help complete the rest of the year. Like, example, like that water account, we're putting $2,000 in there. I don't have the exact budget number in my head, but let's say we had a $30,000 budget. We actually had one bill in there that spiked up a little bit that was unanticipated, so we kind of need to help cover that.
Okay, and I understand that.
Yeah, so we can help finish pay our November, December bills. So we're trying to look forward to the end of the year to make sure that we can meet any bills that come in. And some of that stuff was a projection at the beginning of the year that just went off a little bit. Okay?
Okay. I think I understand.
Right, but it won't
Lifeguards
generate a
for the
surplus.
office,
It's not meant to generate a surplus. I'm not transferring money in there to hold it, reserve it, and generate a surplus. It's there to be for bills coming in November, December.
Okay. Which leads me to my concern with the water bill. I know last payment of bills, I think it was $1,100 for one line that's Park. So I believe we have a leak or some major maintenance issue, possibly as to why that one bill spiked so much. Is that part of the reason we're not reaching our water bill budget?
That bill did have an impact on us, yes.
Yes,
So we
it was
have,
one.
we're gonna look into that
It
one
was a
bill.
major spike. I didn't know what happened in July or August, but.
Well, I just thought it was from construction, maybe we used some water out there, I don't know,
Oh,
so.
for cement, they did do
Yeah.
some cement.
We
Yeah.
heard there were
Yeah.
many hundreds of gallons of water being used that, we get billed for. So we didn't put a meter on that, but I think that was part of the spike.
Because there is that one area near the box, kind of right near the front of the basketball court,
Yeah.
that is constant, it's muck, it's a swamp. So there's a leak somewhere, but I know, I've heard you turn the faucet off in the winter, but in the summer, it's like just muck.
You guys are running your sprinklers aggressively. I mean, I like it, the grass is green.
The garden club wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah, it's beautiful, but.
If you want to deal,
It will
if you want to know the truth on
in
that,
July and August, I can tell you that,
You want to face them?
yeah.
Okay. I was just concerned if there was a leak, it might, if you are doing reserves, it might make more sense to put it in a repair maintenance column instead of a,
Over there, yeah.
allocation that way. And that's all I have to question, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Barbara. Carolyn Brianna?
Carolyn Brouillon, 12 Miller Street. I had a question regarding R15221, where now 3 individuals can now wire transfer $35 million at any one time.
How much is that?
It's a total of $35 million that you're allowing yourself, the clerk, and the borough administrator to have single authority. It's just kind of scary coming from a
Yep.
business background to only have one.
Well, first of all,
And at least not
can I
doing it.
answer that?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have $35 million.
I understand that.
Okay, well,
That was my
is,
next question.
right, that's
Where is
listing
it?
each account that gives us up to a certain amount to allow us to transfer out of, okay? And the reason why it's set for 10 million is that sometimes we have notes, I just read to you that we have like $2.5 million in notes, but sometimes we have notes that combine that exceed the $5 million limit, and this would enable us to transfer monies just to make our debt service payments when they have to be made, that's all. Those
I
accounts,
understand what it means.
Yeah.
My question is, I understand that it might be hard for 2 people at any one time, but just as you would write expenses with your check in the old days, or even with wire transfer with PIN codes.
I think I can help answer the question. And
I'm
no, I'm just trying
just asking my question.
I was going to tell you there's more than one, it's not a single signature. Pat would initiate it. Okay.
So then single authority, I would ask to be looked at as changing the wording of this resolution, because that's what it says.
Okay.
Okay. My other thing would be a thank you, Tim, because I think this is very helpful. And I would just ask that in your code enforcement, if you could also add the number of summons issued.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you.
Arnie Few?
Arnie Feud, 50 Valley Street. There's a note in here that there's going to be some work on Valley Street done. Can somebody explain that?
Tim, you want to speak to that?
What page? I'm sorry.
I don't know, it just said that there's, I didn't see exactly where it was, but it's been in the works for a few years. I don't know what part of Valley Street, sometimes.
Oh, we applied for, that was the, I want to say discretionary funds. We did apply for the DOT grant to do Valley Street. And I believe that's going, I think, that was for the street.
That's the one.
We picked Valley Street because we did it watershed projects, we're going to come digging up going there. And Dale felt that was the best opportunity for us to get the potential DOT grant.
So we applied for the funds, we didn't get them.
We didn't get it. We
Okay,
don't know
but
yet.
where is it, between what streets is that?
I want to say it was from Bay down, but I
Yeah,
don't
the
know.
whole,
From shore to bay?
yeah, all,
I mean,
Dale and
from
I drove it, we said, let's put in for the maximum.
I know, I'm sorry, from the bay itself,
Correct.
like the water
Yeah, and
station
in the
thing,
water.
all the way to bay, or from bay to shore?
All the way to shore,
All the way to shore, the whole street?
the whole street.
And does that cover in that, will it try and cover, the street runoff. You know how the sidewalk there is really caved in by Valley and Bay on the east side? I mean, in other words, do they go into the sidewalks or just into the asphalt, you know?
This is just, as I understood, it's just the asphalt. It's kind
Yes.
of like what's going on Shore Drive with the repaving of that. They're resurfacing it. Yeah, an overlay of resurfacing. But the reason why we picked that street, because Dale was gonna include in the application for the grants, letting them know that we're gonna be doing, some stormwater management, regrading, and so forth and so on. So we would make it more attractive to want to give us a
Oh, okay, so they might go into the stormwater
different.
pipes?
No. Listen, what I'm telling you. If we have projects on the table, stormwater management projects on the table, if they move forward, that street's gonna get chewed up quite a bit with excavation. Hopefully, what we can do is spend more money on pipes with our funding, and then have the DOT with their grant help us pay
What percentage of the street?
set percentage.
Yeah.
So we're trying to maximize the capture from that.
Because that's one place where I'm sure if the sidewalks are caved in, there's infiltration into the waste treatment plant. Unbelievable,
Yes.
because you can hear the water. I'm sure you want that. Thank you.
You got it, sir. Lorianne Nolan.
I would just like to,
Address, name.
Lorraine Nolan, Highlands. The Girl Scouts are having the Veterans Day service. This is an annual service that we have had for many years. We've had it either at Veterans Park or the Community Center. This year we'll be at the Community Center. It's at 7 p.m. on Veterans Day, November 11th. So if you know a veteran, we're asking for you to please invite them to come. Boy Scouts will be there as well to help, they'll sing some songs and have some poems and so forth. If yourself is available, please come and show your support as well. And after, we'll have some refreshments.
I want to thank everybody for coming out to the community day. This was a great success. Welcome to the meeting tonight. Congratulations to the 2 new council people that won this today, and I'll move to the vote.
Offered by Mayor Nolan, second by Mrs. Wells. Mr. Ward?
Yes.
Mr. Redmond?
Yes.
Ms. Ryan? Yes. Mrs. Wells? Yes. Mayor Nolan?
Yes.